Yo, what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN. Today, we are going to be breaking some news for you that could be just hitting the circuits. If not, this might be the first place that you hear about it. There is a merging announcement that we are going to be unveiling here in a moment. However, before we get there, I wanted to give a quick update to yesterday's video where we talked about the Paywall new feature testing. As I did go through, I didn't think about it in the moment, but I went back through it today just so I could go and take a look to see if they were still offering the other ways to acquire the second builder, the second research queue unlock, and it appears that they are. And I want to show that off to you real quick, right? Because we showed this yesterday. Now, the auto peacekeeping, unless we hear or see otherwise, that very well could be paywall locked. The second research queue is still unlockable, which is, I think, here, right? So I went through this is the S700 account that I made, my scout, and I leveled it up enough so I could take a look at the store, and you could see that the second research queue does still permanently unlock once you get here, which means that this would potentially be the third research queue, right, that you could get. And then coincidentally, you could still unlock the second builder for 5K gems, even if you would get a third builder. So basically, they're offering you the opportunity for a third builder that you can get for the $5 or so if it still costs about that, from what I recall, unless the price has gone up. But that obviously would be a flat fee you'd have to pay. And then for the third research queue, you would only get that if you pay the $5 a month. So you're looking at minimum $5 flat for a third builder, and then $5 a month. If you do that for the year, you're looking at what, $60 for the year USD at least, and that would unlock you your third research queue. So I at least just wanted to clarify on that before we get into everything, because I didn't think of, hey, let me just level my scout up real quick so I can go and see for that. Again, we only focused on talking about the kind of new pay-to-win elements, or it kind of is, right? But the new paywall elements that they added in the newer kingdoms, which again is still relevant, but I at least wanted to fill in some of those middle blanks for some additional context. Okay, with that out of the way, the announcement we have for you today is that apparently BD-O and SSG, two top kingdoms and top alliances in the game that have been active for a very long time, BD-O at least since beta, around that period. SSG obviously afterwards, because I believe they ended up moving over to 363 from another kingdom before, from my recollection, but I'm sure someone will let us know if there is more to it. And they have decided to merge. Let me introduce you real quick to Exhibit A that we're going to read through. And this was some screenshots. A few people shared these with me from, I believe this is the SSG Discord. However, I want to state this for the record, is that I reached out to Duz from BD-O and I reached out to KT from SSG just to see if they were okay or willing, able to acknowledge or verify if this is true or if it's not. Otherwise, I would have stated that I haven't got this confirmed yet. But Duz was kind enough to confirm that, yeah, this is actually happening, even though we have the announcement right in front of us. So I appreciate that. Now, I might be trying to do something with BD-O and SSG, because I would love to honestly sit down with both of them, or at least one person, whether it's separately or together, and ask them a little bit about, why, how did this come about? Were there any other options or considerations? What makes this future pairing more optimal maybe than another? What were some of the inner workings? Really just try to get a little bit more of in the weeds with them, because I think that there's a lot that we can learn from big merges that take place, because this is not as though it's BD-O or SSG just bringing in players. I mean, this is a big time, just to really give you an idea here before we read through everything, right? My last scan that I got from Fuzzy, which was around April, right? Early April. I am expected to get one near the end of the month. I know Fuzzy did confirm with me. Hopefully everything should be back up and running, and then we should be getting some consistent stuff near the end of the month. And so once that happens, I will do another kind of top stat series. I know we've been kind of on about a 2-month hiatus right now. So, but from the last time we did it in April, you can see here that BD-O was ranked 4, right, for top 300 power, top 600 power. This is where they were at, and then total power, right? This accounts for all accounts that are visibly on the map. BD-O from Kingdom 41 was there. SSG, Kingdom 363, they're right here, right? So you're looking at arguably what was the number 14 and the number 4 kingdom in the game as of 2 months ago. And I believe they're probably about still top 25. I know SSG is, BD-O is probably maybe a little bit closer around the bubble, if not a little bit above that. And so let's say conservatively, you're looking at 2 top 25 kingdoms in the game that have opted to merge. And these, maybe they'd be a little bit higher, right? Because again, we don't know what the recent scan would show. However, what I can show you is that, and this is important to note as well, is that SSG is in the number 1 main KVK group, right? Which was RAC, SSG, EIS going up against BTX, Echo, RFF. We know how that played out, but we'll show you in a moment. And then you had BD-O, who's in the number 2 main KVK group. And that was with Luno, BD-O, NF57 as their teammates going up against TFS, WBA, and ROG. Now, if we were to go and take a look at how those are going, well, we know because we already covered this, right? Where Echo, BTX, and RFF have basically already won their KVK before the final zone even opened, right? There's really no resistance that's going on here in 4034. If we look at 4035, there is all 6 kingdoms are in the FZ. However, you have BD-O, NF57, and Luno kind of up here, and they're basically bottlenecked in on these chokes. Like Luno has this level 3 Spire, and WB has this level 4 Spire, but that's it, right? And then I guess I don't know if they're getting hit from the back here, but it looks like TFS is on that side. And so it's, yeah, they're kind of in here, but they're kind of getting sandwiched, right, from 3 different directions. The TFS side, which is TFS, WB and ROG, they have clear control of the dragon right now. And I believe that Augerstone comes next. So next Augerstone chapter. So you probably have a day or 2, I believe, give or take. And then you'll get rewards for controlling, I think it is. If not, maybe already existing. Let me see real quick, because I know I was just taking a look at this. But we'll show it, might as well. So, it was the previous, right? So yes, it's already happened, right? So it says your Alliance Warband must occupy Frost Dragon Lair in season 12 by the end of the countdown. And I think BTX was the one, it looks like, for them. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, because I'm in 363. Sorry, excuse me. But it basically has already passed, is the takeaway. And so from that, you're in this situation where you have 2 very strong kingdoms that are opting to merge. Now, it might be a little bit more difficult. I have to go and see if I have the migration points, because I don't know where they were at last time. I bet you I put it on. It's not server merits, migration. Are these personal points? Nope, that's from 320. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Kingdom points. Okay, good. Look, so I did have it. So this was taken on March 20th. So this was about 3 months ago. You have on here that BD-O was max, and then SSG was max as well. Or excuse me, not max. Sorry, it's the left numbers here. So SSG was at 3,111. They were active. BD-O was over at 4,300 plus. Now, I don't believe we're going to be able to look again at what they are, even if I was to go here and let's just say I typed in 363. I don't believe it's going to show me their details, right? Oh, maybe it will. There we go. Look, so now we could see. So 3,624 points is where they're at right now, right? So that gives them 376 points of leeway. If you're bringing in big players and let's say you're averaging, 18, 19, 20 points, that's what, 5, 15, 18, let's say 20 conservatively, right? So maybe like 20, 22 players you're going to be able to bring in potentially, and then maybe they'll be able to lower their score a little bit. If we look at 41, you look at this, and we look at them, and they're at 359. So they've dropped considerably, right? I mean, almost 800, 700 points since we last looked at it a couple months ago. However, let's go and get to the messages. So this was the announcement that was made. BD-O and SSG are officially merging. Yes, we've tasted the bitterness of defeat, but giving up, never. We're taking this opportunity to patch our weaknesses and walk forward even stronger. Our new alliance name is still in the works. We'll review alliance data, merit, mana usage, etc., and use that to finalize member adjustments. Then, excuse me, what did I say? Just a follow-up announcement will be made soon regarding who stays and who parts ways. Leadership will now be handled by KT plus BD-O leads. So I stand right there. Okay. Or over here. Leadership. So let's give a huge round of applause to the previous leadership who worked so hard for multiple seasons. They deserve a break, so don't worry, they'll be back whenever we need backup. Second part. Core BD-O members will be joining 363 directly. So now we get the confirmation. Okay, so BD-O people will be going to SSG in 363. If you're planning to leave, have sold your account, or plan to do so, please message KT ASAP. Anyone not pre-approved will be removed from 363 without exception. Until our server cleanup is complete, all alliances will be closed temporarily. We'll be operating with a whitelist, blacklist system moving forward. For now, everyone must move to either SSG or SSG2 for data scanning purposes. Your cooperation is appreciated. So why are we doing this? Simple, because we're still aiming for the very top, and we need warriors worthy of the climb. If you're going to play to win. Let's keep pushing forward. Now, to show you where the kingdom is for them, I took these screens yesterday. You can see here, just to kind of show you the page here for BD-O, right? For some of the people, when they talk about core BD-O is going to be coming, and my face is like totally here, just blocking. So here, let me disappear for a moment. And you can see, right, this is just some of their power. You're at 9.5, 4.5, that's what, 13, 15. 17, if you combine, probably 18 bill, right? Maybe 17, 17 and a half if you maybe combine all the non-farms into one. Then you're looking at merits. Here, actually, you know what I can do? Let's just do this. I'll just kadoosh myself over here. So, yeah, again, then we get, who doesn't matter, we're looking to the right. So we got merits, right? This was as of yesterday, right? So as of the 17th of June. Then you get personal merits, right? Just kind of showing you how many people are at 10 million plus. You got 145, and then there's 36 players at 20 million plus. Could it maybe be some of those 20 million plus players? Okay, possibly. Then we get personal power BD-O, right? So they got 181 players at 60 mil plus. They got 66 players at 100 mil plus. Then we get to SSG, right? So this is some of their leadership. KT there you could see does Diplo. Also R5 currently right there at about 20 and a half bill power. Possibly still healing too as well, I'm sure, for both sides. This just shows you some of the officers and team there. Then we look at alliance power, right? So again, still around there. If you want to add up the other ones, you're probably looking at about 23 bill. Then we look at alliance merits, right? So 2.579, almost 2.6 bill. You look at personal merits, you got 36 players at 20 mil above. Then we have 130 at 10 mil merits and above. For power, we have 115 players at 100 mil and above, and 185 at 65 mil and above. Oh yeah, then that just got into the other stuff. So yeah. So again, that's where we're at right now based on the information that we have at the moment. Now, I will say this. There's two ways of approaching recruitment, right? One way of doing this is where, excuse me, you do it the good old-fashioned way, right? You go out there and you proactively recruit players. You look at recruiting forums, message boards, channels. You look for any free agents that are trying to find a new home, or any groups that are trying to find a new home. And so from here, this is what typically is done. The other side of it is what we're kind of seeing in the BD-O SSG case, which is where you have a kingdom or an alliance that is looking to move, and they're not wanting to just do a rebuild. Because keep in mind, BD-O could offer that. If they just wanted to go and take their players, they just want to trim fat, they want to go do a rebuild. We've seen a number of people opt for that. However, they choose to go and do a merge, right? As still a top kingdom at the moment, at least until the numbers indicate otherwise. And obviously we've heard, rumors and rumblings coming out that BD-O doesn't have as many active fighters as they once did. It's kind of a shell of its former self, right? The current numbers for the kingdom do not accurately and nearly represent true fighting capacity and strength. This is what I've heard some people say. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not because I haven't talked to anyone there within to confirm or deny. However, to me, if I'm kind of looking in between the weeds, I think to myself, okay, so you don't want to do a rebuild, which I would opt is probably one of the best ways, especially if you want to maintain, let's just say, I don't want to say control, but let's just say creative rights, creative freedom in that sense, which is maybe just a nicer way of saying control. And so you're okay with maybe sharing some of that managerial burden. And it could also be because of burnout. Maybe some people just don't want to. Again, they did kind of allude to that, a portion here in the announcement. So maybe that's a piece of it. And anything else that obviously we don't know. And then maybe they have good relationships with SSG. I think that obviously factors as well. When you played a number of KVKs now, as BD-O has, from Kingdom 41, you've probably had the chance to make and start working on relationships. And so maybe they just feel that this is a good fit. But some of my questions would be like, why not another kingdom? Why not try and bring a smaller kingdom up to you so it doesn't dilute the top set of kingdoms, right? Like that would be something I would be curious on, is how much effort was put in. Or did they just not want to go through that? Did they just not want to grind and put a lot of work in to, like, again, how active is the recruitment team? Are they able to really bring in a lot of new blood? Did they try looking for a rebuild kingdom, but they just couldn't find one? Again, right? Like there's a lot of unanswered things here and interesting questions I would love to ask and just kind of dive a little bit more into. But yeah, this is where we're at. This is what's happening. And this is obviously probably the first massive news announcement that we have heading into the KVK offseason, because it ends for the main KVK group in 11 days on the 29th of June. And then we get into what will probably be, and what could very well be, the most exciting KVK season to date, which is going to be SOS 5, with us being able to see how the camp system is going to work in CallofDragons. We know it's already been in Rise of Kingdoms for a while. So yeah, I mean, this to me, this upcoming season could very well be the most exciting since Rise of the Dragon, and possibly more exciting and more opportunistic for the players, the alliances, the kingdoms, and the fighting potential that we could be seeing. With that in mind, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you like the move? Do you agree with the move? Do you not like the move? Do you not agree with it? Why not? Let me know in the comments below. That's it for me. As always, until next time, we'll catch you later.